Oh, we're here. We're live. We're making history here with Scott Mackay. Hey, Scott.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you. It's nice to be back.
Yeah, so this is BFS Live episode 120, and it is the first episode of season 8. Can you believe that? 8
No
seasons.
way.
This is the 8th. Every year I just say it's a new season. I don't know that anything really dictates season, but this is the 8th year I've done a podcast. That's kind of crazy.
That's remarkable.
120 episodes. Shout out P. Kyle in the chat. Scott's been on the show before, but today we're going to be more in a, this will be more like a BFS fam capacity. We're kind of just talking about stuff. That seems to be what the viewers like. A more laid back kind of dudes just chilling type show. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be talking about my 2-minute skate park reviews. So for the people at home, Scott, why don't you give me your 2-minute, who are you? What's your relationship to action type sports? Just so there's a little bit of a basis for those who haven't seen your episode with you before. And if you want, you can go watch that episode or let the people know.
Yeah, my name's Scott Mackay. I am president of the Genesee Regional Off-Road Cyclists. This is my second year into that role, and it's a lot of fun. But I grew up riding a BMX bike back, before owning a car, and went to school and work on bikes and built trails in the woods in the corner lot and everything, and had a lot of fun, and somehow came back to bikes in my life, and now I'm on this podcast second time.
Bikes are sick. I got love for everything, for the scooters and the skateboards. But bikes, there's so much longevity in bikes. You could be 90 years old, have a pedal assist bike, and go down a canal path and just feel the wind in your hair and still get that vibe. Skateboarding, man, a pebble or a stick or a crack in the sidewalk can always just ruin your day. Yeah. Well, you mentioned you're president of GROC, Genesee Regional Off-Road Cyclist, which is a division of IMBA. And that's that's going to fold into our conversation today. So what is GROC and what is IMBA?
Okay, so we'll start with IMBA is our parent organization. It's a nonprofit in the United States representing many chapters across all the states, I believe, and they advocate at national level and state level for trail access on bikes, and then we're a chapter, and so we represent the Genesee region, and we're advocating with land managers across the area for more access to bikes. We also have a community effort where we try to have rides and community functions, and just try to have fun riding our bikes.
Yeah, it's the International Mountain Bike Association.
Yes, but they're only in the U.S. So there's an IMBA of Canada that has a different structure. And I recently learned this, too, myself.
Didn't IMBA share a graphic a while ago where they mentioned having chapters in all over the world? Or is there some... Well, I guess it's really not that important for this episode.
Yeah.
But either way, IMBA is an International Mountain Bike Association. And I think this is something that action sports severely lacks. And maybe I'm going to change that one day. But there needs to be some sort of central framework like IMBA provides to local chapters, right? Because GROC does our trail advocacy work in this area, right? And when I was in Jersey, it was JORBA, which is probably Jersey Off-Road Bike Association, maybe? And
yeah,
it's probably it, yeah. And there's been this boom of skate parks finally, right? They're being popped up everywhere. I'm doing the review videos, and a lot of people really misunderstand, especially in the negative reviews, what it is I'm saying. This is the comment I get all the time. Well, at least we have it. Back in my day, we'd rode the empty parking lot behind the stripper club. And it's no, you're missing the point.
Well, yeah, of course.
And will. You deserve credit here. You and Rob, who's formerly been on the show, like getting me into the fold with Grok, and kind of like learning that I say like the
intricacies.
Yeah, like the digital infrastructure, the nomenclature around trail building. Right. If you go anywhere in the country, right, you have an IMBA chapter, and a lot of times they're based on a framework that IMBA provides them, because there's a vernacular involved with modern trail building, right? And these are the things I'm trying to take to action sports. Things like sustainability, accessibility, user conflict. You know, I think a lot of people in the skate park world will hear those words and they go, "Ew, it sounds too like weird and corporate." But like, if we really want modern skate parks to be like what they should be, right? These are what we really have to think about. I'm reviewing skate parks from the context of this is a public amenity, right? And I know you don't even really you don't ride skate parks, right? I'm sure you tool around a little bit, but you come to me as soon as a skate park gets built. They're like, can you believe that they spent how much money? See, so you, even not being a rider, you passionately care about what's happening in these communities, even communities you don't live in, and how these funds are being allocated, and is this resource, up to snuff? Because it's not a basketball field or a baseball field where it's like, you grass, dirt, lines, done.
Right.
It could be a little better, it could be a little bit worse, right? Skate parks can be, vastly better or worse based on the design.
Yeah, for sure. Trails can be
exactly
the same way. Yeah.
I was super fascinated. I think my first the first time I really got a taste of it, I went to one of the Tryon Connector Trail meetings, right?
Oh, wow.
So for the people, Tryon,
nice.
Well, we've talked about this in the other podcast, but we'll kind of touch on it briefly. Mountain biking in county parks here in this county is illegal, right? Bikes on trails is illegal.
Unless there's a sign that says...
Unless it says otherwise, right? The default is bikes not allowed on trails. And Grok got the county to have a pilot program, right?
And the community. Grok and the community.
Grok and the community,
yeah.
Obviously, because Grok is a vessel for the community, right? We're kind of doing the thing.
Helping.
Biking was allowed in 2 parks.
Yep.
Bay Park West, Tryon Park.
Tryon Park.
They are close to each other.
Yep.
The north part of Tryon is not far from the south part of Bay Park West, Irondequoit Bay Park West, right?
Yeah.
And you were trying to get this connector trail that would exit the park in a place that there actually already was a trail, an unofficial trail exiting, right?
Right.
Yep. And so, but to do it the right way, you got to talk to this person, land managers, you have to do the whole thing. And that's what, it's one of the things that IMBA helps groups like Grok do, is like, this is the process. This is what you're supposed to do. This is what you say. So I went to this public meeting about that. And I believe it was Rob, and he's given a presentation like, this is how we build the trail. You cut it at this angle. The water sheets. It doesn't cut. And there's all these practices that are proven that you will see all over the country or the world for sustainable trail building. And I didn't realize till probably 8 years later, I'm like, we don't have this in the skate park world.
Oh, right.
And possibly because
yeah.
it's way more subjective in the skate. Like erosion on trails, objectively measurable.
Right.
Sustainability in a skate park, not so objective.
Yeah, but maybe not the sustainability of the surface, but the sustainability of the park itself. Is it being used to its extent that they thought it was, and could it be design flaw that's causing people not to have fun there and not go there? Or, it's the flow of the park. Yeah.
One of the things that always irks me, and I mean, very well, there's a lot of opposition to bikes on trails, which is like to me, sounds like the craziest thing. Getting kicked out, riding street BMX or skateboarding, like, okay, it makes sense. I'm like I'm grinding my pegs on your ledge. Like, yeah, okay, I shouldn't be here. But like, you're just riding a bike on a trail in the woods. Like the fact that there's these people who are like willing to just show up at meetings and be like, here's all these ridiculous reasons why it shouldn't be allowed.
I think it's goal interference is one of the terms that's used.
Goal interference. Wow. Dude, I got to write that down. Goal interference.
Right.
That's what happened at that Bills game 2 weeks ago. And that's why they didn't kick for the 1 point with 20 seconds left in the game, and they lost. But I digress.
Interesting theory there. I like that. I like that. But yeah, I mean, some of the hikers want to just enjoy nature without any extra noises other than the hum of the highway in the background. But they don't like the noise of bikes or having to be interrupted in their solace. So that's one of the main concerns, I think. I
can understand if you say not to be interrupted in my solace. I think that's a pretty powerful argument. When you say the noise of bikes, I'm like, dude.
Well, it's just a foreign noise. It's different, and some people pick it out. And
yes, and this is coming from the hikers that have the earbuds in.
Well, I don't know. A lot of them have the earbuds in, but yeah, it's amazing. There's that many people, they have those views and around the area, anyways. So we've been working to try to get that changed.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that hate skate parks. I get it in my comments once in a while. Like they actually think if it was a wide open field with nothing happening, it's better off not being a skate park.
Oh, that's a weird one. Yeah,
for sure. People really do. There are people out there, a bunch of Karens, that actually think like if you build a skate park, you're going to ask. What's like the Try and Connector Trail? Like the people thought that adding a trailhead was going to bring random people to this random neighborhood.
There was all sorts of reasons not to have the trail come out.
Well, people lawyer. They don't. They just like come. They think what they think, and then they go quick to playing their own lawyer to justify what they thought without thinking about it objectively.
Right. Yeah. But we got the connector built, put in, and people are using it all the time. Even though some of the neighborhood folks were not happy about it, and I'm sorry about that. But there was access. The park property had access to the neighborhood, and it's just a matter of time, I think, talking about safety. And because riders were crossing the Empire Boulevard like a Frogger game.
Oh, yeah.
So it was, it was pretty dangerous. Anyways.
Yeah, it's just like, so to kind of bring this back, I go to this public meeting about this connector trail, and I'm like seeing like presentation. There's like images and
maps, and
I feel like you get these people are there's such an uphill fight for many of these advocacy groups to get a skate park built that they're not sitting there saying they're so desperate to get something built. They're going, please, versus saying, no, like this is what we need, right? So part of that's maybe the fact that there's so much opposition. I don't know if there's opposition to skate parks. It's just people are just, politicians are kind of clueless to what they need. So you're just so desperate to get something. Mm-hmm. You're not saying, it's not that we need something. We need this. We're not even there yet. And I'm trying to take skate parks to the point where we could be like that, where we can say, okay, we've convinced you why skate park's important. Now I'm going to tell you what are the features that we need for the skate park to truly be a success. Right. And this is the disconnect that I get most of the time in my comments is I'm not reviewing these skate parks from the perspective of a rider. I am a rider. I do ride everything, and that certainly helps, right?
So how are you?
I'm reviewing these skate parks from the perspective of every rider. In the mountain bike world, they would call them progressive features, right? And for people that don't know, a progressive feature would be like all the way on the left, it's just a mound you ride over, a lobe, and you go, whee! And a little bit over to the right it's almost like kind of a tabletop, and you can get a little air, but you have no worries, And then to the right, it's actually a jump with a gap, so you can progress, right? That's, I would argue in the skate park world, that's like what I say would sustainability would be. The accessibility aspect would be that there's something anyone could do, and the sustainability is the fact that there's continual features, right? You can progress into it. Because the reality is a really good rider can utilize any feature, no matter how basic it is.
Right.
But that's a one-way street. Because I always say that, I'll probably get to this later again. I'll probably bring this up multiple times. With skate parks, public skate parks, context really matters. What you're trying to do, what's in surrounding towns, what other skate parks are around.
Interesting, right?
I could I could dive into that again a little bit later.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking at these things like here's the thing. The reality of a public outdoor park is that the vast majority of users of that amenity are not born when that park is created. Because most of the users of a skate park are beginners into intermediates. They're usually somewhat transitory. They do it for one summer, maybe 2 or 3 years, and they move on with life. So to design a skate park for the lifelong, experienced, awesome skaters, I mean, just imagine what that'd be for mountain bike trails. We're building these trails for the lifelong, experienced, like, best riders out here. You know, the guys that all shop at Tom's Pro Bike or whatever. You know, that, yeah. What do you get? You get something that's utterly unaccessible.
Well, yeah, you get expert trails that are fun for a segment of folks, but it's hard to expand the community when that bar is so high. So you have thoughtful design, I think, put in.
So I would love to see something like the IMBA with chapter infrastructure for skate parks or action sports, right? Because here's something I always say to people. I must have said this 100 times in the comments, right? You'll never raise enough money to fund a public skate park. It's literally not possible. The raising of the money just becomes a bargaining chip. So then when your advocacy group goes to the politicians or the land managers, whoever it is, you go, look at this. Look at our group. Look at the support. Look at the money we've raised. And they go, oh, wow, that's significant, right? Because the only way you really get a public skate park built is if you have key people, whether they be politicians or parks people, whoever, like, those people have to believe it's in their best interest to build that amenity, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And I think this is an area where skate parks have an advantage over mountain bike trails. Because if you say, let's look, for example, Ellison Park right around the corner from here. If you were to put a concrete skate park there, it basically doesn't make any of the park workers' jobs any bit harder. Maybe they open and close the gate at the end of the night, you know?
Yeah.
But if you say there's trails, and they think trails means occasional maintenance, and they have the perception that bikes on trails is going to lead to erosion. So now you're going to that guy and saying, hey, guess what? We want to do this thing in the park, and it's going to make your job harder. Mm-hmm. No one wants their job to be harder.
I think I spoke with the past president of IMBA recently over holiday, and he was talking about early on they figured out that they needed to write these books to help the local clubs be educated, because the battle or the wall was so high, the bar was set so high to even get in a park with your bicycle, and you wanted to build trail, you had to back up that there's some science behind it, engineering behind it, and so that was from the get-go, but they have a couple books out now and published 2004 or something, 2009.
That's great. That's what we need.
Yeah.
I have to write a book now.
Right.
On top of everything else I do. Now Scott tells me
there's got to
be
a book out there. There's got to be.
I'm going to write them. I'll start writing tomorrow. ChatGPT.
So
write me a book.
I was surfing the internet and I came across I was trying to do some research on disc golf places.
Okay.
And I came across, I don't know, there's like 4 or 5 different like sanctioned groups that are managing disc golf and international level, national level, and then there's a mini disc thing too, like you have a mini disc that you play with. I don't know.
That's a thing, yeah. Not big.
Well, anyway, I came across that, but they had what was it? The Greater Rochester Disc Club is a chapter of a parent club, right? I don't know the name of it, but they have like a kit. Hey, you want to get a disc golf course in your town? Here you go. These are the things you need to do.
Was it Disc Golf Park?
I'm sorry?
Was it Disc Golf Park?
I don't know. What's
or PDGA?
Maybe it's PDGA.
Yeah.
I think it was, with UDisc was associated with it?
UDisc is just the app,
Oh, okay.
but they do a lot for the sport.
Right. It wasn't UDisc. But anyways, they had like a really pretty nice section in their webpage for like organizing a local group to get a park,
Dude, I get these messages daily, whether it be an outdoor park or an indoor park, literally every day. Maybe not every day, but like 3 times a week, I get a message or an email, and they're like, "Bro,
sounds like you got to write a book."
I want to write a fucking book now, dude.
I love it.
I had this guy message me on the Binghamton video, and it was like the velocity of messages and the amount of times he was using caps, all caps. This dude is like intense, and he basically said, "You need to give me a sick design, and I'm gonna get a new skate park in Binghamton." And I was like, "Listen, dude, you're kind of putting the cart in front of the horse. Like, you have to rally support, all the stuff I said earlier, key stakeholders, land managers. You have to make them believe it's in their best interest. There's no point in a design if you're not in anyone's ear."
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, bro, you don't get it." He's like, "Binghamton's not like everywhere else in the world. It's like Twilight Zone. I can make it happen. I lived here my whole life. You give me the design." And I was like, "God, dude, like you don't need." Like, you don't need to do it. Like, if it's just the same park, there's already a skate park, and you're going to demo it. Like, you just have a flat area. There's nothing like unique to the topography.
You should send them a plan for a ski jump.
I told them, like, one of the hurdles with working with cities is you often have feasibility studies and environmental studies, and they cost a lot of money, and they can have a lot of setbacks. It can incur more cost and like remediation, which is very different from like a small towns. Like, oh, we can just like put it there, right? And also with our conversations I've had with Always Hard Concrete and Baboon from Pivot Customs, when you want a bigger skate park and you start digging down, things get more complicated. And the farther down you go, because of the safety issues with like you need to have the support walls if you're digging down, like everything. So if you have a skate park like say like the Medina one nearby or Parrington that's just built up, a lot cheaper.
Sure.
And so I told that guy, like, listen, there's nothing unique about the topography, so you don't have to really design a park. You pretty much put anything on the existing footprint. And he's like, "No, bro," like, wasn't having it. And I was like, dude, I did repeat it all again. I was like, this is what you have to do. This is the only way it works. A design, getting a design for your skate park is like curating the menu for the restaurant when you haven't broken ground on the building.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you're going to take a sick design to a politician or a park manager who doesn't skate and has no idea if it's good or bad. They have no clue. Doesn't make any sense.
Right. Sure. Yeah. Yeah, maybe he had other plans. Like,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I stopped answering them.
Right. Yeah.
Everyone that messages me, I tell them, go to this podcast, BFS Live, comb through for the episodes that are about skate parks, listen to them, and whatever questions you can't get answered there, come back to me and I'll answer those.
Right.
But I'm so busy, I do not have time to just send a long email to someone that I've sent to 20 other people that don't ever reply. They go, "Well, it sounds expensive." So to bring this back to where I started, I'm reviewing outdoor skate parks as a public amenity that the taxpayers paid for. And is it serving its purpose? In the instance of like the Binghamton skate park, it's horrible. It's old. It wasn't built right. Like, if you look at the way that park was built, extrapolate that out to mountain bike trails, public pool, splash park, playground, it would never have made it that long. Like, they would have realized, okay, the company that built this playground did a really bad job, and this is all messed up, and this is dangerous. This needs to be taken care of. Right. And unfortunately, skate parks get discriminated against, and they would just tear it out and not even replace it, to where if they tore out a playground, they'd just upgrade it. And like every cool playground from when we were kids got replaced with these new school safe ones. Those old school wooden playgrounds that were awesome.
Metal, come on.
Always worried to get stung by bees. And people just don't understand.
Right.
Dude, when I was a kid, 100 over and over again. So, yeah, I guess the misunderstanding is just that they're like former riders that don't ride, and they're just like, I don't know. It's not it's not 1997 anymore. Like, skate parks have been around for a long time.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm sure in the 90s, trail building was not where it is now, right?
Oh, for sure. No.
Well, just look at splash parks. When I was a kid, what the hell? I never heard of a splash park.
Oh, like the little parks with the water
You know,
fountains
they're
and stuff.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Every town has them, right? When I was a kid, I never in my life.
That's keeping up with the Joneses now. That's how towns.
Exactly. I never saw an artificial turf field till I got to my teenage years, and we started riding. We go at night to Princeton and ride street around the prestigious campus of Princeton. Wholly unaware that it was like Princeton. We were just like doing BMX kid stuff on like these like historic buildings, dude. And we would sneak into the stadium because it had these crazy slant walls. It was like really, really cool. Now, turf fields are like really common, right?
Yeah, not in Brighton.
Not in Brighton?
No.
Is that a thing in Brighton?
Well, they passed the budget to put one in, and now a bunch of community members are upset that they're going to put in an artificial turf, and
they don't like it.
They're like, they don't want them to go in, even though it's already passed the town board and.
Why would you not want an artificial turf field?
Exposure to chemicals and
fair.
And microplastics or whatever.
I mean, I think it's a fair concern because grass has done a pretty good job for a long time.
Yeah, it's just maintenance costs, right? You got to mow it, you got to fertilize it. Artificials.
Yeah, versus the collateral damage of microplastics in our children. I could see that. It's a trade-off.
Oh, it's super easy to decide which way to go on that one.
I'm more concerned with macroplastics, just eating whole chunks. So anyway, the point I was making is that in my lifetime, you see a progression, you see a trajectory in public amenities, right?
Right.
And then you go to Binghamton or Elmira and you see these skate parks and you're like, holy shit.
No one's paying attention.
This would never, ever fly.
Yeah, no one's...
Sorry, got a message.
Oh. They got the handshake photograph of the ribbon cutting and, a few folks having fun that day, and then they don't come back and look and see how is it doing. What's it?
Yeah, I think a lot of this is because there isn't a framework.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to write a book. The Modern Skate Park.
It's almost written for you.
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, it would make a lot of people's lives easier when it came to skate parks. They could be like, look at this book this guy read.
Wait, the Tony Hawk Foundation doesn't have anything maybe Ralph Wilson?
Well, now they're the skate park project. Tony Hawk's not involved.
Oh, okay.
And they do have resources on their website. Like they have studies on their website you could show because a common complaint is noise. And they've done studies on this. Yeah. And skate parks are not... modern concrete skate parks are not particularly loud.
Well, that's good to know.
That's not the same when it comes to like prefab metal parks. It's a little bit different.
Pickleball,
but also
metal
bikes are
ramp.
very quiet. Dude, pickleball. Here's a prediction. Everyone in the chat, take all you 9 concurrent viewers, take my note right now. January 7th, 2026. In 10 years, no one's gonna give up about pickleball anymore. It'll go back to being a weird niche thing, and we're going to be getting ourselves some new prefab skate parks just right on top of all these dumb pickleball courts they're building everywhere.
That's exactly what happened to the tennis courts that went in the 60s.
Yeah.
Right? In the 80s, they're like, oh, we're going to put a prefab skate park in.
That was the one I reviewed in Strasburg, PA. It was on an old tennis court.
Oh, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mark it. Put in your count. Go into your phone. Go like 10 years ahead in the calendar on this date. Make a note with a notification to Dave made it. Get out of here, pickleball forever. Get out of here. I hear that I'm playing disc golf at Shadow Pines. Kunk. That sound of the pickleball. Kunk.
Yeah.
Kunk.
Oh, yeah.
Fastest growing sport in America.
Mountain biking was like that in the 90s.
Yeah. Then what happened? You ruined it.
Yeah, I don't know. Media made folks very scared of mountain biking, I think.
You think?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, my biggest gripe with action sports is the insane, like, it's like the mansplaining of action sports, like, bro, sick, gnarly, don't break a leg. Like, when I had the news here last year, I was talking to Chris Lopez, who was here, and I was like, hey, let's I want to be serious, Dave, right now. Let's not do any of that language, like the serious stuff, it's dangerous. I'm like, let's just keep it chill. It's about kids, it's about family. Don't give me any of the, like, this like, super dangerous, gnarly bro thing, And that's how we kept it. But when I watched the segment back, these nerds working in the studio at the local Rochester whatever news station it was, they're like, we're going down to Chris Lopez breaking free skate park. He's getting gnarly. Don't break a leg, bro. I was like, dude, come on. Like, they literally completely the opposite of the vibe that I wanted to portray. And that mentality that action sports are, like, dangerous as hell is one of the biggest things that holds us back.
Sure.
And people are very self-conscious. People are very worried about falling. They're very worried about, quote, being in the way. That's a big issue as well. And obviously access. The fact that there are not parks is obviously the big one. But those are the things we need to work past. And why we need something like a IMBA or the book I guess I'm going to have to write about the modern skate park.
Yeah, how to get modern skate parks in your town.
Well, you brought in some paperwork, some graphs, and you were showing us some GROC numbers, right? So
yeah,
GROC is a division of IMBA. GROC has members. If you want to join Genesee Regional Off-Road Cyclists, you can go to the International Mountain Bike Association website and you can sign up. What is it, like $35?
Yeah, $35 for.
And almost all of it goes to GROC. IMBA keeps like $2 or $3.
Yeah, they keep a portion for maintaining the membership database.
Right. And then your membership does a couple things. Like, your membership gives GROC funding to do the things we do, but it also gives GROC the bargaining chip of when we go to a politician or a land manager and say, hey, we have this many members, right? And that's essentially what these skate park advocacy groups are doing without an infrastructure. They're trying to use, turnout at events or individual donations to as a metric for how much support they have. Versus we can literally go, hey, look, let's see, show me your map. So we have a map here. Well, let's look at this first one. This is a bar chart.
Right.
You probably can't see it on the camera that well, but this is a breakdown of the top 25 towns by numbers. And these is this current membership in GROC?
No, that's well, not current membership. I should overall for throughout our existence,
which has been how long?
Since 2008.
All right, so since 2008, there's been
2006 really, but
over 100 members of GROC in Rochester.
Yeah, those are all unique addresses.
Unique, no repeats.
Unique addresses.
Okay.
Yeah, it's based on the address that was put
There's been about 60 in Brighton. There's been just over 50 in Irondequoit. There's been over 50 in Victor. There's been 40-ish in Webster, and that chart goes on and on. I don't know if you guys can see. Boom, right? This is something that we would be able to show in the skate park world that had it. This one is a map of Western New York, Central and Western New York, and each pin here represents a dot where a member is.
Yep.
Over for a lifetime of the board.
Yep. Yeah.
So you can see a concentration of where your donations are, or memberships are from.
Yeah,
There's some way out there, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah, and there's some outside of New York too.
Yeah. So
Believe it or not.
these are the sorts of things that if you have a skate park advocacy group, you need to quantify them in a way that you could show. When you sit down with someone, you can take this and you can go, look at this graph. Every time I do it makes me laugh. And the fact that IMBA helps you with that is huge.
Oh, yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll start that. I call it NASA, North American Skate Park Association. We're going to fake the moon landing, and then we're going to build skate parks everywhere. You down?
Moon room like features.
Moon room. I'm going to Raise on Monday. Yeah, this is maybe this is in the one chapter in the book. Prove your point.
Right? Yeah, that's just part of it. We have volunteer hours. You know, how many volunteer hours are put into the park?
Huge,
right?
Yeah.
And that's worth a certain amount of money, and you can, sell your case to your politicians and land managers.
Yeah, that's a good one. Volunteer hours, right? Because all you have to. The politicians, they care about one thing: votes, right? They have to believe that supporting your project is going to be a win.
Oh, yeah.
That's all they care about. It has to be a win for them.
Yep.
So in order for it to be a win for a politician, it has to garner them votes. And to garner them votes, you have to show them, hey, look at this chart. Every person on this chart could be a vote for you. And especially in a smaller municipality, votes go really far. In the Democratic primary for Rochester, Malik Evans won his re-election bid with it was ridiculous. It was 6,000 votes maybe?
Oh, right.
It's not a lot of votes.
No.
500 votes in a local election can be a game changer for a politician.
Oh, yeah.
So if you can make them think that them coming out, doing a photo op and supporting a project is going to make them votes, not lose votes. Because that's always a problem, too. Because there are a lot of Karens out there.
Yeah. 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 You got to make it a win for them.
Yeah.
And some elections are even tighter, like for town boards and things like that.
Yeah. I think most people are really disconnected from how local politics really work. It's kind of crazy.
I'm not surprised, though.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Well, I mean that when you put it in the context of how aware people are of national politics, that actually hardly really affect them, to where someone on your town board and zoning boards, there's some things that can really have a tremendous impact on your life that you are completely unaware are happening every single day.
Oh, for sure. And yeah. And that's one of the complaints a lot of people bring up too, is oh, we just found out about it. And it's you got to be plugged in sometimes, right?
Yeah.
And it takes a certain person to be that kind of plugged in, I guess, because it is kind of boring sometimes. But it's not boring.
Yeah, one of the things I said earlier about context mattering, when it comes to skate park or even mountain bike trails, right? Say there's a spectrum, right? On one side of the spectrum this is an amenity that our town has and provides for the people that live here, right? On the other side of it is this is something we built with taxpayer money, and the goal of it is to bring people from outside areas into our municipality, and that they're obviously going to buy stuff while they're here, and that's going to generate revenue. Maybe they'll move here because of this, right? Obviously, it's not a binary. It's somewhere on the scale, right? So for mountain bike trails or for skate parks, this is something that kind of is important. And I think a lot of people I talk to in the skate park world or in the advocacy world, they completely leave that off the table. Because those are two very different things. I think when it comes to trails, it might not be as different. It's just a matter of complexity and size. But with a skate park, man, I guess it's kind of work out the same way because size really matters. So I talked to, I've been consulting with Elmira for their skate park. What I told them is like, if you want the beginning of the scale, right? If we want a public skate park that's an amenity for the people that live there, you just got to look at your population density, look at the immediate area. And these are all things that should be out there that are not out there. And I'm sure in the mountain bike world they probably are, but there's probably a percent, X percent of people ride or skateboard. Say it's 1%, say it's 0.5%, whatever. And say, okay, a skate park probably draws people in from
50 miles.
15 miles?
15 miles, yeah.
On a regular basis, 15 miles. So there's X amount of people within 15 miles. So at 0.5%, it's about this many riders. And if the skate park companies that designed and built these skate parks really cared about what they were doing in a sustainable way, they would be doing some research into new rider generation when you create a new park. And usually it will fall off. So you can say, okay, you'll probably bump up to maybe 0.7%. So then you can say, okay, based on our research, and again, these companies are not doing this research. They should be doing this research. With your population density, creating X amount of riders, you need about X amount of square feet, or you're going to run into user conflict issues just from high traffic.
Right.
And that's just for your minimum of this being a public amenity. If you go to the other side of the spectrum, where you want to build a skate park that is for the sake of tourism, well, now we're talking something totally different. We're talking bigger scale, bigger features, unique features.
Sure.
It's not the same animal.
No.
Maybe it's half and half. I don't know. But that's literally a conversation I've never heard anyone make. Like, they talk about tourism. Tony Hawk Foundation, formerly Tony Hawk Foundation, Skatepark Project, does have some studies on their website that shows when you build new skate parks, it generates X amount of sales tax revenue.
Right, sure.
Which certainly does.
Economic development.
We've talked about
stuff.
this. A town over in Penfield, they built the Shadow Pines. They built this disc golf course. It's the most played course in New York State. It's like top 20 in the country, top 100 in the world. There's like 30,000 rounds played there. That's a lot of people showing up to do something. Those people are buying gas, picking up coffee, probably buying beer. They're spending money in that town, right?
Sure. Yeah. A certain percentage you can extrapolate. I was reading recently an article about action sports. It was published in 2009.
Oh, okay.
And it was talking about the decline of action sports involvement with kids. And I guess there's an action.
And you didn't send this to me?
I was going to talk to you about it, and then I just read it today.
Wait, hold on. Hold that thought. 2009 article.
2009.
You have breaking news. I just mentioned Shadow Pines. The barn has collapsed.
Oh, no.
Pull it up on the big screen.
No. Say
the
it's
barn
not
is
so.
collapsed.
Oh, look at that thing.
All right, for those that don't know.
We need to save the timbers.
For those that don't know, the Shadow Pines Park has a disc golf course. It was formerly a golf course. They're supposed to build some bike trails there, possibly, fingers crossed, bike optimized trails, gravity trails features. But there was this barn. And the barn is, it's old as heck. 200 years old, 150 years old?
Yeah, at least. Had a unique design, too, I guess. Architecture inside.
Yeah. It looked like a barn. Yeah, it's very unique.
Inside.
Yeah, okay. And all these advocacy people that were like all up in arms about, you got to save the barn. And the town was like, the barn is too messed up. It's not fixable. And it's been this real big thing. And the barn has collapsed. This is of today.
They put a fence up around it because it was dangerous and they wanted to keep people out.
This is from John Cudco, local journalist. He was on the story. He posted this 8.5 hours ago.
Wow.
The barn has collapsed. Breaking news. Breaking news. You gotta do the smile, yeah. So.
Oh, poor barn.
Dude, there's going to be a lot of people that are really upset about that barn. And they might be the same kind of people that are very upset about bikes on trails or skate parks.
Could be. It could be an intersection of communities there.
There are a lot of people. And it just boils down to, I fear change. That's it. So anyway, 2009 article about kids not getting it.
It was talking about how back in the early 2000s, it was just the beginning of some of the action sports being televised,
Yes.
right, and getting a lot
Huge.
more exposure. And so then there were some more parks and action sport oriented kind of activities made available across the country because of this. And so the average kid, the article goes in, the average kid was exposed to a lot more variety of sports, including action sport type things. And so their interests got a lot more like into a niche of like action sports. So it's almost like,
Where was this article? Do you remember?
I have it open still. I'll send you the link.
Send it to me. I'd love to read it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it'll make it into my book that I have to write, apparently.
But there's a action sport retail association. I've never heard of it before reading. And they do research on action sports stuff.
There is a guy that's been reaching out to me that has it's like a board retailer association or something. And it's like this young man who is trying to like do something related to what we're talking about here, but to board related skate shops or whatever. But also like,
it's funny, the article also says, they don't talk about it as action sports amongst themselves, but that's what the outward term is for people.
I like to use, I call it PFAS. Personal progression oriented sports, but it's a mouthful.
Yeah.
So I stick with action sports. But action sports is a dumb term because every sport involves action.
Right.
I hate the term extreme sports.
Yeah.
Right. Every sport at a high level becomes extreme. It's not the term extreme goes back to what I said earlier. Like that's the mentality that hurts action sports.
Right. Climbing Mount Everest without oxygen is extreme.
Very extreme. I've heard you can't breathe without oxygen. Is that true?
Well, I guess there's oxygen tanks. I mean.
Okay. Trying to look up. Board Retailer Association is the guy I'm talking about. And he's grown his channel a lot in the last year. It says, the Board Retailers Association is a nonprofit that provides valuable resources to board, lifestyle, and outdoor specialty retailers. But he was like reaching out to me when he just started and trying to tell me he could help me. And I was like, you're like 15 years younger than me and just started and you're like 100 followers. Like, I really don't think there's something you can bring to me. If anything, like, I could bring a lot of value to you. I'm doing this a long time.
Right.
But I see he's grown his channels quite a bit, so that's freaking awesome. Good for him.
Yeah.
But you're right. Action sports really... Well, action sports has these 10-year waves. And we kind of got snubbed in the last wave because of COVID. But if you go back in time, around 2000 was like a big peak.
Right.
I would say, I said this a bunch this week, I think the heyday of indoor skate parks was probably 2002, 2003.
Really?
Probably, because that would make sense, because if BMX and skateboarding really peaked in 2000, it maybe about a year or two to get these people to get these skate parks built and open,
we got to get this park up,
Yeah. And to iterate that, Rochester, which has a deep legacy of indoor skate parks, going from 99 to 2008, in a short period, we had Spinners and Extremes 1 and Extremes 2 and Extremes Skate Park and Horizon Fun Effects had a skate park, and we had Scuffs, and we had that other one in Hendria. So that was 7 skate parks.
That sounds like another book.
Yeah, maybe.
Do you have like a timeline, like a graphic
Dude, we
or
did
timeline?
all these episodes. Early on, and we literally could not nail down solid dates, and no one I can get agrees with anything about it. It's really quite challenging. And I'm sure you probably, if you could get access to like business tax records, you could find out. Assuming the businesses paid their taxes, shout out Rusp.
Well, that would be recorded that they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, action sports definitely, to what that article said, in the early 2000s they were like crushing it, and it kind of lulled. into the mid 2000s. And they kind of came back up around 2010, 2012. There was that second big wave. That's when you're kind of see. Basically, I'm from BMX, and BMX is a bellwether for action sports more broadly. Because when skateboarding is doing super well, money overflows into BMX, and then BMX starts doing well. And then when BMX starts losing corporate sponsors and they start to recoil back to just skateboarding, you know action sports are hurting. So 2010... It was starting to get pretty cool again. There was some big Red Bull events. Like there was some stuff happening in the sport.
Is that the entry level? Like the board is an easier...
Well, skateboarding is just awesome. Skateboarding is...
I had a skateboard.
It's romanticized in pop culture. Everyone wants to be a skateboarder.
I think I ran over too many rocks.
Yeah, you got your ass kicked. You hit a freaking pebble and ruined your day.
I think that's what happened.
Yeah, so 2010, things were going pretty good. I remember... I was still in Jersey, and Red Bull rented out this thing in Asbury Park and built all these ramps in this casino building on the water. Like it was just like epic. Like that stuff that it's like it sounds preposterous now, right? And so 2020 was kind of when we were poised to kind of climb back up, and we kind of had some trajectory going into that. And then COVID just like screwed everything up. But of course, maybe not of course, but in my mind, of course. We were constantly fighting against that pressure of the creeping, impending pressure of the phone-based childhood. That's what we're losing all of the riders to now. Yeah. So you had like first wave in the early 80s, and then there that wave in the early 90s, 2000s, 2010, 2021.
Oh, this is a movie now.
Now it's a movie.
Now it's a movie.
I'm going to write a screenplay. It'll just be rad, but for 2026.
Yeah, the history of it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Tyler.
Has anyone done a movie on the history of... No, probably
no one
not.
would care. No one cares.
What? No?
Skateboarding's cool. People care about skateboarding. No one cares about BMX. Yeah. Well, there was a Dogtown and Z-Boys flick.
Yeah. There's like a history of mountain biking called... what's that one? Coaster... No. Mount Tam. They used to race down Mount Tam on the old... Oh. What's it called? Something Cruiser or something? Oh,
well, I've never seen it. How am I supposed to know? I don't watch anything.
Well, maybe someone in the chat would chime in.
Someone in the chat. Mountain bike documentary.
Yeah. Anyways.
Kyle. Jamie, you can pull that up?
It was a movie about the history of mountain biking and how it came onto the scene and some of the early folks, frame builders and stuff.
Well, I think we're really facing an uphill battle now with the phones.
That is, super interesting. How the phones came in.
I think we're in the middle of like a real shaking up, real realignment moment. Like we're like turning a page in action sports, right? I think, and this is probably controversial. I think a lot of people within the industry would be really not happy with me saying this, and
the end is nigh.
Send me a message. I'll tell you you're wrong. I think brands that have had a market share thought they were selling products because they were uniquely cool, right? They're out there going, yo, people are buying our bike parts because like we're cool, right? We got the cool stuff, right? I don't think they're cool. I mean, once upon a time, I was obsessed with all that. I thought it was cool, right? And look at skateboards. Like, there's nothing unique or special about any skateboard brand. It's like there's companies in China or in America making those boards, and any graphic can be put on it, right? I think skateboarding and BMX are uniquely cool. I think there was something like a critical mass of kids that would just be getting into action sports every year because they were cool in and of themselves. And then these brands that had market share were just out there. They're at second base, and someone's just like hitting practice ground balls to them, and they're scooping them up, tossing them over the first base, and they're thinking, dude, we're all-star team, baby, MVP, let's fucking go, And now the kids aren't getting into action sports because there's something in these dopamine depletion devices in their pockets. They're getting them, and because of safetyism in our culture, and everyone thinks it's so dangerous, kids aren't riding. These brands, the money's really drying up. Because if there aren't new people coming into the sport, they're not buying product, then there's no product to pay pro riders. There's no product to fund cool projects like videos or documentaries or events or whatever. So we're at a point now where these brands, they've become like these legacy brands. They've become the corporate brands they hated when they first got into it. Now, they're too afraid to do cool and unique things anymore because they're too corporate. They're too scared to spend money on something that doesn't work, right? They spend all of their marketing budget trying to reach the 0.2% of kids that already ride BMX, right? They're just trying to sell X brand handlebars instead of Y brand handlebars. They're doing, as long as I've been in the sport, every brand I've been familiar with spends $0 trying to market to the 99.8% of kids who aren't riding bikes or skateboarding, right? And it's always been like lame dude to do like a box jump show at a high school or something. Like all the things that are just simple and basic aren't cool enough because they've just been stuck in this like elitist cool guy thing. And you can have your elitist cool guy thing as as you continue to like downsize and lay off employees and cut pro riders because no one's buying your stuff because kids aren't riding because you were never that cool.
Right.
And I don't mean that in a salty way. I'm not salty at all. I want action sports to be everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
But if we collectively don't try to get in front of kids, kids aren't going to ride. And the one area in action sports where we still have great positive momentum is in the proliferation of public outdoor skate parks. There is,
you're right.
As Baboon and the guys from Always Hard Concrete were on the skate park on the show, and they said they're basically they're selling more skate parks than they can even build.
That's awesome,
and that's a great thing, but they need to be built right.
Sure, yeah. Because, it's fostering the youth.
Yes.
To progress and get better and live a skateboarder, right? And raise skateboarders.
Have VR on their freaking Oculus or whatever, and they're going to be like, oh, cool, I'm riding BMX right now.
Right.
And then it's what do they call it?
Right.
It was an embodied experience.
Really?
I brought this book up before on the podcast. Great book. For the BFS book club. Hold on. It's called The Death of Experience, I think. Hold on. The Extinction of Experience. The Extinction of Experience by Christine Rosen. Read that book. Fantastic book. Embodied experiences are things you experience with your body. Riding your bike, going to a concert, anything.
Those natural experiences are going to be very...
Natural experiences, great one, yeah.
Are going to be pretty... what's the word? Like hard to get. Like you have to seek them out.
Yes. I think the future is live. I think it's going to come back. I think there's going to be a big rejection. I think this revolution in AI content and algorithmic curated feed to keep you linked to your phone 24/7. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to recoil, and there's going to be a push for things that are verifiably real. And I think part of that will be live streaming content on the internet. When that red dots, when the red circles around the logo, we're live, like us on YouTube. And I everyone, all our concurrent viewers right now, 100% this is not AI. Or is it? No, it's not AI. It's not AI. But there's nothing more real than real life. And I'm seeing, especially here in Rochester, the youth are getting into music and concerts, and I hopefully there's this flourishing of real life embodied experiences, right? Look at your phone right now. Pause it. Pause the show. Look at your screen time. How many hours a day, hours a week do you spend on your phone, right? And compare that to how many hours a week you spend outside in nature or riding your bike or doing any real embodied experience.
How many steps?
You fuck all your steps, dude.
Well, that's an indicator of activity. Sure. When I was working on trail, I did 10,000 steps a day, maybe more. But then my watch was your activity levels dropped.
That's funny. Dude, no. Oh, God. In that book, Extinction of Experience, they go through metrics of people, like the frequency that people go back through their camera roll on their phone and look at like videos or pictures they took. You know, he's like, oh, like I think the author says something like, I was somewhere and there was like a rainbow, and I was just sitting there and just looking at it. And I looked around, and every person is looking at their phone screen, taking a picture of it, looking at it through the screen. And the data suggests you're actually almost never going to go back and look at that picture of that rainbow.
You'll just pay
you
for
think you will, you know,
storage on your drive.
You know? And like, you know, when I go to see a band in a concert, sometimes I'll put my phone on record, and I kind of cross my arms and like hold my phone against my chest, and I'll like record a couple songs of the set, and I'll upload it to my YouTube channel, and I will rewatch them. But I don't try to sit there staring at my phone recording the video, because I do want to live the embodied experience. And the same thing when we do events here at the skate park, you'll notice all the content I do. I don't ever do anything really during Tykes on Bikes or during the 4th of July, New Year's Eve party. I'm like, these moments are just like, I'm just trying to soak it all in and live in the moment and like,
right, sure,
do the thing. We all need to do the thing.
Yeah.
Ask yourself.
Be present.
We get a roll call in the chat. Did you do the thing today? Be honest with yourself. Did you do the thing? Did you? Did you?
Do it.
Yeah. Did you do the thing today, Scott?
I was going to do something, and then because I was a little under the weather, I didn't do it.
Did you do anything random? What was the coolest thing you did today?
What was the coolest thing I did today?
Come on my podcast.
That's, definitely the first coolest thing was actually just getting up.
Getting up.
Yeah.
Sometimes it do be like that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, every day's a present, man. If you can wake up, that's the start of a great day.
Dude, that's deep, man.
Some people don't wake up. My first boss passed away a couple days ago. First boss I ever had.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's kind of wild.
First
person that told me what to do and paid me for it.
I don't even know who that person was for me. That's life, though, man. Life, people die.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What's crazy in that my review of the skate park in Binghamton. Binghamton, yeah. The skate park's in Sherry Lindsay Park. And how would I know this, right? I'm not from Binghamton, but apparently that's a woman that was apparently raped and murdered in the 80s. And the whole park was named after her, and then, way later on, a skate park was built there. Apparently, there used to be a BMX track there. And the park is painted purple. I made that joke. I'm like, oh, it's purple, like apparently it's painted purple for this other girl who was murdered. She was apparently shot by a stray bullet like 3 years ago in Binghamton. And they painted on the street in front of her school, they painted a purple line between the yellow lines, and for some reason they painted the skate park purple. And I replied to a bunch of comments on my social media if this girl had a connection to action sports. Like, did she skate? Did it just like randomly, they're like, all right, we're going to paint the skate park purple. I was trying to figure out why, because I want to do a follow-up video, especially because it's an unsolved murder. There's $50,000 out there for information that leads to an arrest of this poor girl's death. And so I'm like, I was like compiling data and articles, and I was going to make a video, but like I was trying to find the link. That's like the segue. What's painted purple? Because this girl, and she used to skate. I can't even, whatever. I digress. But this poor girl was shot and murdered. So I got a bunch of comments calling me insensitive because obviously I was supposed to know why the skate park was purple and what the name of the park was. Jeez.
No sign or anything either.
I'll be honest with you, there might have been a sign.
Yeah.
I pulled my car up, walked a circle around it, filmed the video, put my drone up in the air, got back in the car and kept driving. I didn't even ride it. A lot of times I do these reviews, I don't ride them.
Right.
I've been in that park before.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Have you ever been there?
No. Isn't Binghamton the city that hates kids?
Binghamton. No, it's Elmira.
Oh, Elmira. Okay.
No, Corning. That was Corning.
Okay.
Corning. On my Corning review video, I kept getting it over and over again. Corning hates kids. It's like a thing they say down there in Corning. So weird. A lot of people, in the Corning, not so much Corning, but in the Elmira and the Binghamton skate park reviews I did, both those videos went kind of viral geographically to where they were. So I got tons of comments from people that I assume are non-skaters just happened to see it. And you get a lot of this like, well, what do you expect? It's Elmira. The whole place is a shithole. And you get this whole just gnarly pessimism. Just like these people hate it. Like, why do you live there then?
Right.
Like, and just because your town is in rough shape doesn't mean you got to start somewhere. You got to do something.
Yeah. One place to go then. Oh.
And if it's a rough place to live, what better place to start than giving an amenity for your kids? Because getting kids into action sports early is a great way to prevent them from getting into gang violence or broken homes or drug abuse. Because you have a subculture. It's not just a skate park. You get into a subculture. Hopefully a lifelong subculture.
Right. It's like a lifestyle. Right.
Oh, God, that always bothers me. That like, well, it just sucks here.
Right. Yeah. I have a friend that says that about Syracuse.
Syracuse is shitty, though.
He calls it Syracuse.
Well, hell, dude, I've been in Rochester for a decade. It is significantly nicer than it was when I moved here.
Yeah.
And I think people that live here don't see it.
I think that's right. They get blind to
Granted, the crime has gotten much worse, COVID and post-COVID, but I hope that's tapering off. But, like, I spend so much time outside and riding. Like, when you go downtown, especially downtown, it is so much nicer in downtown Rochester than it was 15 years ago. It is crazy the amount of stuff that is like, even Parcel 5,
right.
the Strong Museum,
where the skate park is.
The filling in of the inner loop, the skate park. Across the street from the skate park, they redid all of that.
Cornhill.
They redid, we called it River Block. It was like Carroll something Plaza. Like, there's just... The Genesee Brewery wasn't like that when I moved here.
Yeah.
They renovated the bridge. Like, there's a lot of money going into downtown Rochester.
Yeah.
I think people really sleep on Rochester being on the up and up because they just get caught up on some of the crime statistics.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, and then it's just like any city. There's always, corruption or a news story about this. A mayor gets kicked out or arrested or whatever. But, I mean, overall, it's definitely improving.
I love Rochester.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've been to a lot of small cities. Granted, I was a young kid in my 20s, so I did all of it. I loved Rochester. Always loved Rochester. I liked Raleigh a lot, too. I've heard great things about Savannah. I've never been to Savannah.
No.
You hear my fan?
Yeah, I heard something. Is that in the computer?
Yeah, every once in a while my fan on my computer starts making noise, and it's never once happened during a podcast, and it finally happened. It's probably quiet enough you can't hear it.
Yeah.
I lived in Saudi Arabia, and the park here looked like AI. Like the skate park looked like AI. Sean said, every day isn't an extra day of life. No, sorry, every new day isn't an extra day of life. It means you have one less day of your life. Make every day matter. Yeah. Basically, he's saying YOLO. That's white people talk for YOLO. Every day is a gift, man.
Yeah.
So I don't take days off. I don't stop. My wife the other day was like, she was making some comment about how much I work and all the stuff I did. And she they looked at me and she's like, shut up. She's like, you love it. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you fucking love it.
Yeah.
It's like, cause I really don't often get tired or fatigued or worn down. Like this last week I got there though. Last week I was like, I was going up the stairs at Tykes on Bikes. Man, this is kind of hard to get up these stairs, dude. That was a long week.
Yeah.
What's hard? I feel like I got all of action sports up on my shoulders, and I'm trying to bring it back. Trying to make it great again.
There's 2 books, a movie, obviously podcast.
I gotta write a book. God damn it, Scott.
Book.
I gotta write a book.
AI.
I am AI. I'm Dave GBT.
Is there a mini version?
No.
No?
No. All right. Let's loop back to skate park stuff. I want to talk about the 3 features, the 3 key terms that I'm really trying to bring to the skate park world. And those are the sustainability, the accessibility, and the user conflict. So if we could bridge a gap real quick, I would just like you to tell me, in the context of mountain biking trails, what those 3 things would mean. What is sustainability in the trail in the consideration of shared use trails?
From my learnings, there's, I think, 3 sustainabilities that you have to take in consideration. One is environmental sustainability, so that the trail moves water off the trail and doesn't erode quickly and is built to the standard of what it's being used for. Then there's social sustainability, where it doesn't break down user groups to fight against each other, or it's copacetic. So it's not around the design. It's maybe around how it's delivered, how you signage and things like that. And then there's another sustainability. What is that one? I'm not going to remember it. Environmental, social, financial, maybe. Like, it needs to be able to sustain itself financially, where
right.
Do you have volunteers to maintain it? Do you have budget set aside to do that, or whatever it is? Right?
It's a fantastic point.
So
I don't know if skate parks really have to worry about that, because they have extraordinarily low maintenance costs to a skate park.
Yeah. Well, there might be other things around it that need maintaining, like
but trails do require work, for sure.
Yeah.
So generally speaking, sustainability is it's longevity across every domain.
Pretty much, yeah.
So in 10 years, 20 years after it's built,
still got people using it. Yep.
Great. Accessibility.
Yeah.
How would you define accessibility when it comes to shared use trails?
Accessibility and shared use trails. Well, I guess making sure the trail's designed to handle the expected usage, right? Are there hikers? You have sight lines. I think it might be part of there. So, hikers are able to see oncoming traffic, or maybe some signage. But that's also like part of user conflict. But one of the newer kind of aspects of trails, and probably, I don't know about like board sports, but like adaptive riders, having folks that are outside of the normal, not normal, but I'm still working through the terminology and stuff, but folks that need a wider path, or better cornering, have berms built in there, and then obviously signage. And
then user conflict is, that's pretty self-explanatory, right? Like, I brought this up on the show a couple times. For example, in trail building practices, at intersections, you kind of come upgrade, which means you kind of come slightly uphill to the intersection. So the trail itself, purely by physics, slows riders into the point in which they would intersect.
Yeah,
it is really simple, effective. That's something that could absolutely be incorporated in. Well, could it be incorporated in skate parks? Because then if you're rising up, it would be a jump. I guess not.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the context.
Sure. Yeah.
So that all makes sense. I'll give you what those terms would mean in a skate park sense, right? Sustainability, I think, is pretty similar. But I think sustainability, as far as maintaining the users, right? Like, I think it's just, in a skate park sense, accessibility comes first, right? You need features that everyone can ride, right? It can't be just be too big and too gnarly. It has to be accessible. But then it also has to be sustainable. That it's because if you built a skate park and everything was 1 foot tall, and was like for kids on balance bikes, it would just get boring real quick. It's not sustainable. It would just be people could use it for the first 3 months of their riding trajectory. They'd never come back, right?
Or they'd start building in it.
Yes. And if, say for like sustainability sense, a lot of old prefab parks were built on asphalt, not concrete. And asphalt deteriorates over time. If anyone locally to the area went to the old Brockport skate park, it was on asphalt. And it got so worn down from just, the rain and erosion over years that it was so bumpy, you couldn't skateboard it.
Right.
You could bike it, no problem, but you can't skateboard it. That is big no-no. For sustainability, your park should not be paved. Full stop. Mm-hmm. Unless part of your plan is to repave it later.
I just thought of something.
Okay.
Maybe you need to write a book for the parks management folks. Also,
that could be a chapter of the book.
A chapter of the book.
Yeah.
Because, if these parks go in and the asphalt is not being maintained but there's someone in charge of that park, yet the maintenance isn't happening, they don't know. Right? They might
not know. Or sometimes they'll have non-skate park related concrete people just pour a concrete slab. But you can't have really big relief seams for concrete slabs.
Yeah.
That's not it's beyond sustainable. It's unrideable.
They put some caulk in there.
Well, when I had on the guy from Always Hard Concrete, we went in deep talking about all the different types of caulk. We went way in on caulk. There was a lot of caulk talk.
I think I heard about that. Yeah.
He actually said, and this is crazy, that they recommend towns reseal the concrete every couple of years and recaulk it every 5. And I've never once heard of an outdoor park being recaulked. That's crazy.
No recaulking.
No recaulking. Yeah. But
sometimes the lowest bid wins, and you get that stuff, though.
I mean, that's a sustainability thing. If these concrete builders are telling their parks they should do this, telling the towns they should do this, and they never do it, that's an issue for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the really big thing when it comes to outdoor parks is user conflict, right? That's the biggest thing. How do we minimize user conflict? Because I think that hurts everything. If your skate park is designed in a way that has a lot of user conflict, it's going to immediately impact the accessibility and the sustainability because it's borderline dangerous to ride.
Yeah.
And that could happen from poor design. That could happen from too small of a skate park for the population density. It could happen in a lot of ways. And that's one of the things that really upsets me when I go to these outdoor parks, even some of the new ones. Some of these parks, I'll review it. I'll go there, walk around, film my review video, put my phone away, and then I ride it. And while I'm riding it, I go, oh, man, I gave this too good of a review.
Oh, because it's hard to put things together or
because it's
get around.
Here's an example. I reviewed the Scranton Park recently. Okay. And I guess I should explain how these parks get designed, but I'll tell this story, and then we'll talk about that. The Scranton Park, you can look it up in the chat if you want to pause this and go look. 2-minute skate park review, Scranton, Pennsylvania. Really kind of a cool park. On one end of the skate park, there's a giant quarter pipe. It's probably 4.5 feet and then juts up maybe 2 feet. So it's maybe 4.5 to 6.5. It's got pool coping on top. It's kind of angled, has a little bit of a bend, and then goes, this, right? On the other side of the skate park, which is 110, 120 feet away, I don't know. The tallest feature is 5 foot, and most of it's smaller than that. So, if you have a 6 foot quarter on one side of the skate park, and everything in between there and the other side of the skate park is 3 feet or smaller, mostly 2 foot or 1 foot, and then you 5 foot 110 feet away, it is literally impossible to get the speed to ride that 6 foot unless you're like pushing on a skateboard or pedaling on a bike. Or if you were to drop in on it, you're gonna hit the ground with like twice as much speed than you could ever need to utilize any feature in the skate park. And I'm going, how the hell does this get designed? Like, who? There's not like some sort of protocol to be like, hey, guess what? You know, like don't put something 6 foot at the skate park that there's nothing else even remotely as tall as it. It doesn't make any freaking sense.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why it happened. I'll tell you why this happened.
Why did it happen, Dave?
When they design these skate parks, what they do is they have these public forums. And on the surface, they look great. They look awesome for community input.
I want square edges. I want round.
So it's like, hey, on this Thursday at 7 o'clock, we're at the Ridge Lodge at Joe Schmo Park, and cool. And for the 12 people that show up, it's really awesome and really interactive. They'll have foam boards up with pictures of features. They might have a floor plan of the skate park, like the footprint, and little cutouts of paper you can move around to get a feel for what could fit on there. And they might have some sort of system where like you get stickers and you put your stickers next to the types of features you want. It is really great for community feedback. The problem is that the 15 people that show up to that meeting get a huge disproportionate say in what ultimately gets built in your skate park. And the vast user group, the vast amount of users of your skate park, as I said earlier, are not even born yet. In fact, the beginner and even into intermediate skate park riders don't even know what they like. They don't know. They're just learning. You literally do need some sort of centralized planner who can take all that in and go, okay, this is what's good for beginners. This is good for intermediate people. We'll take some insight from, the expert riders in your area that show up, and we'll take that into consideration.
Yeah.
And then you build something that actually like makes sense. Not like a 6 foot pool coping quarter to absolutely nowhere. That's ridiculous. Or I did the Lockport review, the rail yard in Lockport. You can look that one up. That skate park has the biggest gap between how good it looks and how good it rides. It looks freaking incredible.
Nice.
It's so bad in person.
No way.
And the build quality is great. The features are pretty good. But they just like in Parrington Skate Park, they try to cram too much into too small of an area, and it takes away more than it gives. And maybe that's because they get all these boxes checked off, and they just tell the designer, hey, put all these things in there they asked for. Like, you got it. We'll give you everything you asked for. And then you get this spine mini thing at the Lockport Park. It looks so good, and you try to ride it, and it's so hard to ride. And I guarantee there's locals there who just shred the crap out of it. But they tried to make it where you could like kind of jump through it and like hip out of it and go that way or stay in it. But it's like the way it lines up, it's like really, really kind of hard to ride. And if the whole thing was 8 feet wider, it'd be awesome.
Right.
But it's not.
Yeah, that's an interesting conundrum to pull apart. I mean, it's probably pretty simple. We have a whole bunch of money, and we have these items that people want, and like you said, let's put it in this spot.
Well, it's simple insofar as in the mountain bike world, they kind of figured out about like spacing and progressive features, and they actually take time to collect data and see what works. It really feels like in the modern skate park, outdoor public skate park world, they just like design the park and just move on. They don't like care. They don't like try to collect data to make better and better parks every day.
Right. But so Hollymont Bike Park added trails, and the first bunch of trails they added were mostly expert trails, and then they added like a blue.
Okay.
I heard that the Rochester Skate Park has more of an expert or intermediate kind of lean. I don't know if that's true or not because I'm not a skateboarder, but those are conscious decisions on how to like build what you want to build, right? What's the segment of rider that you want to expose to, the park first, and then what's the plan later on? Are you gonna
being on the board, and we've had Alan on the show about Rock City Skate Park, the Rochester one. I have a lot of inside information about this. That was always a phased project. Yeah. And just the way it worked out, some of the more beginner stuff was just going to come in a later phase. And that's just kind of how it was.
Really?
Yeah. But the bowl... So the problem... I'll try to make this story quick. The original design of the Rochester Skate Park was mostly under the bridge. It only went out a little bit towards the north side. And it went out a little bit more towards the south side. And the south side butts up against the property of Spectrum, formerly Time Warner. And Spectrum was in a feud, and probably still is in a feud, with the city of Rochester. And that feud had to do with upgrading infrastructure to fiber optics. Basically, it's underneath the roads in the, where all the wires and crap are. And Spectrum wants it upgraded to fiber optics. So the city said, sure, great, you can do it. You can do it. It means you have to dig up the streets and you can upgrade the stuff so you can provide fiber optics. And Spectrum was like, no, it's your streets. You dig them up and do it. That's generally my understanding. It could be completely wrong. So with that in mind, when Spectrum saw the skate park project was butting up against their property line, they went and disputed their property line with the city, saying, hey, you can't build this skate park here. Like, it's up on our property. So just completely politics. So the city came back to the board and was like, we're just going to redesign the whole skate park because we don't want to deal with them. So we're going to redesign it. So the design's out. And the original design of the skate park had a flow bowl, which was like 3 to 5 feet and kind of complex and flowy, and then like a bigger, quote, competition style bowl. Now, Mayor Lovely Warren, who has since left office, whose husband got caught selling drugs and having
illegal firearms
that were previously seized by the police in a fairly ignominious fall from fame. Mayor Warren said, we gotta have this competition bowl. This is gonna bring people into town. Maybe it does. I think it probably does.
Okay, so...
And so the redesign basically scrapped the small flow bowl, kept a big... The bowl we got was actually smaller than the original one, I think. So we got this one big bowl, and then, the main kind of intermediate street section, intermediate to advanced, and then the beginner stuff is still coming.
Right, okay.
In the chat, Double Trouble, Drupal Trouble, he said, check out Evergreen Skate Parks. Those skate parks look so great, they're awful for traffic control. They're the coolest skate parks ever if you're alone, and they're an absolute nightmare when there's 20 people there. Evergreen skate parks, it's like, imagine like a whole bunch of mounds of concrete all over the place. On one side of all of them is like a radius, like a quarter pipe, and the back side is like a rolled over jump. And they're just all over the place. And they're really cool. They look amazing. And you can connect the dots and jump. It's like choose your own journey trails. It's kind of more bike centric. But I've been to one of them, and there's a bunch of little kids there, and it was absolutely impossible to ride.
Right.
Because there are not defined lines.
Tried it, yeah.
And you absolutely need defined lines in a skate park to minimize user conflict.
Right. Just to get people moving in the...
Yes. And Prince asked about Greece. I think Greece was artisan skate parks. I'm not ready to talk about Greece yet. I don't want to upset people. We'll get there one day. Well, actually, no. Let's get there. We'll go there. We're talking about user conflict at skate parks. we have 2 new skate parks in the greater Rochester area, Parrington Skate Park on the east side, Grease Skate Park on the west side. They're both absolutely awful when it comes to user conflict, and those 2 problems manifest in polar opposite ways. Okay? Let's talk about how skate parks work. They're kind of like bike trails. You're going from point A to point B down a defined path. That's pretty much it. If the trail turns, you turn, right? At a skate park, you go... skate parks are designed to be ridden at a straight line unless you hit a hip, and then you follow the hip the way it goes, right? Skate parks are not, full stop, are not designed for people to turn. Unless it's a berm or something that you're turning on, right? So the traffic control issue at Parrington Skate Park is all of the kids are trying to get back to the beginning of the pump track. So when you first walk into the skate park, there's some ledges, there's a flat rail, and you'll get some people trying to ride the ledge and the flat rail, and you'll get like a dozen kids who are just trying to get back around to the start. Now it is chaotic because there are a lot of kids there, but you know exactly where they're going, right? This is something that happens subconsciously. I might blow your mind when I tell you this, but every rider is keeping tabs on where every rider is in their head. It's like a software that's running in the back of your head. You don't even know what's going on. That kid drops in. From the subtlest little nuance of their trajectory, you're like, oh, he's going there. Got it. I'm good, right? That's why when little kids cause accidents is because they suddenly turn because they're not going where they're supposed to go. So while Parrington is kind of chaotic, when that kid drops in, you know immediately he's going to the left or the right of the rail being the defining feature of the flow of traffic in that area. Okay?
Yep.
Pretty straightforward. Yep. At Grease Skate Park, you have like 3 sections of the skate park all come together. Like if you're looking at it from overhead, it's almost like a Y. Kind of. Like the pump track comes in, the ledge section, the street section, and the street section has this hip that kind of sends you directly into the ledge section, and it's kind of weird if you jump the hip and try to get back to it. It's kind of like not really, it doesn't really work. You have to turn, right? So the middle of Grease Skate Park is horrible for traffic control because there is no defining feature. So people get to that middle of everything and they have to turn. Because where are they going?
Right.
The problem with Grease could be solved if right in the middle of the open area you put one feature. It could be a non-rideable feature. It could be like one of those little fake Greek concrete sculptures, whatever. It could be like a 3-sided or 4-sided pyramid or 2-sided. It could be anything. Because then if there was something there, you could jump the hip and you could land your trick and you would look up and in an instant, you're like, okay, that kid's going left of the jump. He's going right of the jump. That kid's going straight over the jump. Like you would immediately know where they're going because there's a definable feature. But there is not a definable feature. So the middle of Grease Skate Park is like an absolute chaotic mess when it's busy. You have no clue where everyone's going, and you know they're going to have to turn, and you don't know where they're going to turn.
Right.
So same problem manifested, completely opposite. And someone in the chat did mention earlier, and I hear this all the time, people have issues when parents just drop their kids off at the skate park. And I think that is a really misguided thing to be upset about because those parents don't ride, they never rode, they don't know. It's not on the parents of the kid at the skate park to make sure they learn etiquette because the parents themselves don't know the etiquette. It's on us as the adults and the older riders to take those kids under our wing and explain to them, hey, wait your turn. I also think the companies that build these parks could do a much better job equipping these towns for what it's like to have a new skate park with some sort of programming or classes or even like really good, simple, graphic-based signage about etiquette.
Yeah.
Something very accessible, just... not even words, just images. Wait your turn. And I'm not saying, like, every skate park's got a stupid sign. No one looks at it. It's like 24 by 36. It's on a thing. Like, I'm saying I want, like, 4 5x8 giant freaking signs that you could not ignore. That the parents, when they pull up in their car, they go, "Oh, look at that, huh?"
Right.
Something that when a little kid is just going in circles in your way, you could be like, "Hey, bud, like, did you see the etiquette signs out there?" Or you could go to the parent and go, "Hey, like, there's etiquette signs there." Because I've heard people be like, "Oh, these parents get mad at me for saying their kid was in the way." Yeah, that's just going to happen.
Yeah.
But if we want action sports to be sustainable, we got to work for that, right?
Yep. Progressive.
Some people are annoyingly rude when it comes to kids to skate park. Yeah. What's the thing is, like, you get some angry, old, grumpy, my age skateboarders that don't like the little kids or the scooter kids, and they just, like, they'll, like, carve by them and almost, like, hit them on purpose. And it's like, you think that's good for the sustainability of action sports? Like,
right.
You're going to make that kid, like, salty and hate skateboarders because they're going to think, oh, this is how skateboarders are? They're mean to me.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like a user conflict based on, like, not enough progression in the park, right? Like, someone that's better should probably not be interfering with someone that doesn't know better.
Well, this will be my last point. We'll wrap this one up. There's a thing that exists in action sports, and this might be more skate-centric than anything, but it really, really, really upsets me. It's generally perceived that if you roll up to your public outdoor skate park and there's a ton of little kids there, that's a bad thing. Oh, it's annoying. It's always packed, all these little kids. There's no other sport that perceives that as a problem. That is a selfishness problem. Shame on you. That is the future of our sport, right?
Oh, yeah.
If you want the cost of your skate products to come down, if you want skateboarding or BMX to have more purchase in the mind of mainstream, if you want the money coming in and bigger events and like growth in the sport, we have to foster the next generation.
Yeah.
Right? If you showed up to the mountain bike trails and there was like 6 little kids on like Walmart bikes, you would be like, "Yo, dude, like, cool, but be careful." And like, if you're really riding, like, we'll try to get you a bike. Like, there's going to be most people are going to, whether it be in that or in the disc golf world, people are going to see that and they're going to be excited to share their passion with them, and they're going to try to set them on a course and a trajectory to learn about it and be safe about it, and whatever. We all know people who got someone, a bike or whatever. We need to all be like that all the time.
Yeah.
We need to take the kids under the wing. Listen, if you're like an adult, and even if you're not that much of an adult, if you're like 17 or older, if a 8-year-old sees you, they think you're an adult, right? And if you can land one trick, they're gonna be like, "Holy crap!" So if you just look at the kid and say, "Hey, bud, you just gotta wait your turn," they're going to listen.
Yeah.
Or if you say, "Hey, kids, come on, round them up, all you guys here. Here's the deal. What's your name?" "Bill." "All right, Bill, you're gonna go. What's your name?" "Okay, Steve." "Steve, then you're gonna go, and then you're gonna go, and then I'm gonna go, and then we're gonna start over, and that's how it's gonna work. All right, guys?" And most of the kids are gonna be like, "Cool," and they're gonna be pumped that now they feel like they're riding with you because you're the older, cool guy that knows how to do tricks, right? If we all had that mentality, action sports we would keep more riders. There would be more growth.
Yeah.
And I think the people that have negative experiences with parents wouldn't react negatively if you kind of were like, all right, guys, this is what we're going to do, right? Like,
right. Yeah.
What is this? How? Hello? Are you watching from Saudi Arabia? Who's that? I don't know. I don't know. Well, I do.
No, that's true. I mean, I don't know. It's similar in my mind to like driving your car somewhere. right? Like there's a bunch of people that are in a hurry, like either leave earlier, right, or face the fact that you're going to be late.
Yeah.
Don't endanger everyone else's, right?
Yeah.
Like just deal with what you have. So make the best of it. Make the best of, a kid's day, right? Might put a smile on your face too.
I also think that particular to here with what we're talking about, the Parrington skate park recently, I think that park is just too small for the population density. And Greg, one of the main guys behind that, told me they're actually in talks about a second phase, which is like fantastic.
Oh, how about that?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
News. Yeah. But this is a situation where I think the companies that build these parks, man, I am not one for the, corporate greed argument. But I think this is a situation where I think if these design companies like really cared about the sustainability of the sport, they would do a slightly better job and go, okay, this is a high density area.
Right, yeah, look at
like even if you only have this much funding, we're going to tell you right now, like it's gonna be an issue. It's not big enough.
Right.
We would recommend either let's plan phased, or let's take another budget year to get a little more money. Right.
Yeah.
Work with them for what they need, rather than just like, sure, we'll pour the concrete. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just want the skate parks to be sick.
Yeah.
I want them to be accessible and usable. Like I swear, almost every one of these new parks I go to, I'm like, really? We're still doing this? Like, come on. There's like, even like the best one, the Auburn skate park, I think that one's phenomenal. But the mini ramp is like, why would you put 8-foot flat bottom on a 4-foot mini ramp? Like, you'd think there would be a standard science that, if it's this tall, we do this much.
Right.
Flat out, full stop, done. There's a bunch of guys here from Auburn over the weekend, and then we were talking, and they all live there, and they're like, oh, no one rides that. They're like, it's just funky.
Right.
And you look at the footprint, and there's no reason why it's only 4 foot.
Right.
Like, they could have easily been 2 feet.
That's it. Yeah, that's that book, right, of guidelines and things.
Let's go.
IMBA has it for the trails.
You heard it here, folks. Episode 120, BFS Live. First episode, season 8. I guess I'm writing a book.
Starring in a movie.
Thank you so much for being here, Scott.
My pleasure.
I have to pee really bad. I'm not peeing in the cup this episode.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. President of Grok. You can follow at my Grok on Instagram if you want to keep up with Rochester trail stuff. And you know the deal, guys. All the good fun stuff. Follow, like, subscribe, drop a comment. Thank you, Mark, for being here. Everyone in the chat. What is that? Churning the butter?
Grinding my coffee
I'm grinding.
beans.
I be grinding. Thank you so much, everybody.